Good morning, people. This is Thunder with Ancient Soul, your friendly wisdom keeper, shaman, yogi, double Indian. I'm going to talk today about what's going on in the world. I do this periodically just for shits and grins or to get the message out. What message, I don't know. Here's the deal. There's so many things. I might call this video, the world's insanity in a nutshell. It used to be you could keep track of stuff, but there's so much stuff going on day after day after day after day. And more stuff is arising as I speak. The insanity of the world. Well, let's start off. Let's just say my YouTube feed, basically, for my YouTube feed, I have geopolitics on my YouTube feed. I have surfing. I have Indigenous, an Indigenous feed with the Red Nation, because I like to stay on top of that, see what my brothers and sisters are doing, how they're dealing with stuff. The first, and let me just jump right in here so that you don't get bored. The first thing I want to address is this Nancy Guthrie. Is that her name, Nancy? And I'm seeing this on my feed over and over and over again, and I'm like, who the hell is Nancy Guthrie? Well, come to find out, it's some woman that disappeared, and I guess she's a relative of somebody famous. Because you have to scratch your head and wonder, why are they focusing in on this day after day after day like it's just the most important thing in the world? You have to wonder, why are they doing that when there's thousands of women and men and children gone missing every day? Native women off the res is a big one. These people aren't being talked about daily on the media, and I'm sure they have families that miss them. This whole thing is absurd. Focusing in on one person that supposedly went missing and got kidnapped, and I watched a little bit of it, and the whole thing's absurd. It's just absurd. Why the fuck do I care? Had to get that out of the way right away. That's just one thing that's going on. Well, maybe that one thing that's going on is there to distract you from all the other more important things going on in the world. So you look at, let's look at geopolitics for a minute. So you got what? How many wars going on, or people threatening to go to war? Let me see if I can recall here off the top of my head. So right now, the big main focus is Iran, of course. But before that, in conjunction with that, or happening at the same time, we got the war in Ukraine that is never ending. Hell, I thought that would be over in like 2 months. Here it is 4 years later. And it's still going on. And then you have the Iran thing where, the nut job Netanyahu and his idiot Zionists are trying to end the world in, because they have this vision of the Messiah that's going to come down and save God's chosen people. Basically, that's what that amounts to. So they're pushing it. They want the end of the world. They want Armageddon. They want, you know what I'm saying here? They want chaos in the world, and so the nut jobs in Israel, the Zionists, and they have a hold on. They have Donald Trump by the balls, and all the Congress people. So that's just two things, three things that are going on: the Ukraine war, okay, Iran, and the Nancy Guthrie thing. I shudder. I really do, that people are this freaking stupid that they're just going to follow this day by day by day like that's the most important thing in the world. So anyway, with the Iran thing, here's Trump blowing off steam again about how he's going to take over another nation and how regime change has to be put into effect, just like in Venezuela, where they broke all rules, all international rules, all rules of international conduct and maritime rules and everything. Everything went right out the window. So you got Trump blowing off steam again about how he's going to go into Iran and he's going to cause regime change, and he's sending over the Abraham Lincoln carrier and this group and that group. You know how much money it cost you people, taxpayers, to send a flotilla of, let's say, 3 or 4 ships from the Navy, like an aircraft carrier and a destroyer and a tender and all the rest that goes with that? You know how much money that's costing taxpayers for him to, like, try to show what a big man he is and what a great country America is, and billions of dollars out of your pockets. And is food high right now? Is the cost of living something that you can live with? There's another event. Okay, there's another event. The financial crisis. And guys like Peter Schiff, financial experts, saying this is it. This is the end. It's over. We're at the end of the line with the financial thing in America, which is a definite sign of the collapse of a civilization. All right. Let me see if I can tune into something else here and really confuse you. Then you got the Greenland thing. Okay, Trump's going to go in and he's going to buy Greenland, or he's just going to take over Greenland and make it a part of America for strategic purposes or whatever. Looney Tunes. That's what we got here, Looney Tunes. What is he on? Or did he just all of a sudden go completely loony? Well, no, he's been that way for quite some time. Then you got, see, I can go on forever, and then you got the ICE thing, which is really the most important thing to me that I follow, because of the Indigenous nation and how they're kidnapping people of color and other people too, and killing them. So I did a couple of videos on arming yourself and legally and how to protect yourself. I might do another one just for the Indigenous protectors out there. But this ICE thing, because they might be backing off in Minnesota now a little bit, but they'll appear somewhere else. This isn't over. This is part of the Looney Tunes. The Looney Tune, whatever people are thinking that they need to do, So what have I talked about so far? Okay, we started off with Nancy Guthrie, then we went to Iran, then we went to Ukraine, then we went to Greenland, then we went to Venezuela, and then we went to... and all these things are like supposedly existential crises, all right, where it could be the end of the world. Okay, with Ukraine, it's like people are a second or two away by the doomsday clock of pushing a button and ending, annihilating the planet. In Iran, if Trump was to attack there, a bunch of aircraft carriers would get sunk because Iran has scores and scores and thousands of hypersonic missiles, which the United States doesn't have, by the way, and can't stop. So that's an existential crisis. That's enough to put people on the edge of their seat. What else do we have here going on? I mean, people, there's just so much going on right now geopolitically. Over here, the financial crisis, the ice, which is just a blatant violation of the white man's constitution. All of it. All of it. I'm not talking about just certain amendments. If certain amendments don't apply anymore, then the whole Constitution is basically, you might as well wipe your ass with it. So that's the name of that tune. Oh, and then here's another thing. See, if I think a little bit about this, I could tell you all the things. So, El Paso Airport. See, another feed that I have is UFOs and consciousness and stuff like that. I like to keep a tab on that, see what's going on with that. But a couple days ago, we had we had a complete shutdown of the El Paso airspace. Everything. I mean, for miles around. I mean, complete shutdown up to 18,000 feet, and that meant medevac, and nobody could fly. It was like a no-fly zone. And what did they say? The government came out and said anybody who would be caught flying anywhere or gets into one of these zones accidentally or whatever, they'll use lethal force and shoot them down. Lethal force. Shoot the plane down. I don't care if it's an airliner and like, are you fucking kidding me? This hasn't happened since 9/11. They haven't shut down the airspace like this. And they said, oh, it's going to be 10 days. Well, the mayor of El Paso freaked out. He freaked out. So did everybody there. It's like, what? What is going on here? Why would they shut down the airspace? And then you had the stories coming out about that. You had the numerous lies and stories coming out about that, like, oh, it was cartel drones. It wasn't cartel drones, people. They don't shut down airspace because a cartel drone comes over the border. And most of them don't. They stay on their side of the border just to look for avenues of escape and whatever, or avenues to smuggle in drugs. But they're not like cruising around El Paso, okay? And this, since I told you I follow the UFO thing, or the UAP thing as it's now called, this has been happening all over the place. In different, and guess what? Fort Bliss is right there next to El Paso. This has been happening all over the place with what they call drones, which aren't really drones. They're orbs, they're lights. And guess what? It scares the shit out of the government. They don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. It's the Star Nation, or it's the consciousness, or it's a reflection of all the fucking chaos that's going on in the world right now. We live in a plasmic universe. We live in a universe that is one, like the Lakota say, Mitaku Ye Oyasin, we are all one. It's all one consciousness. Oh, and then here's another thing. See, it's never ending. You get guys, some guys I watch on like the space weather things, constantly saying that the sun is going to end life any minute because it's going to have an X-class flare, which it could. It could. It's possible. It's probable, as a matter of fact. You got X-class flares coming off the sun now. You got gigantic coronal holes. You got, and then you got the Three-Eye Atlas thing that cruised by an asteroid that, you see what I mean here, people, about this? How many things have I mentioned now? Are you keeping track of it? But the things that are really important, like the geopolitical bullshit that's going on with Ukraine and ending that war, and Trump's always saying lies. See, now here's another thing I want to talk about. Continuous lying. Continuous lying by our government, by the media, by the whoever is spreading alternative media, clickbait, tons and tons of clickbait saying things that aren't really happening, and then you dive into this person's channel and you find out they don't even mention what they put down as the title of the video. Go figure. So that's a lie too. So YouTubers are putting clickbait on and putting sensational stuff in there like aircraft carriers are being attacked now and sunk and all kinds of stuff. And you go on there and go, what? Really? Is this is this something happening in Iran? And then it's no, they weren't really sunk. It was just somebody shot down a drone. Or I'm telling you, people, it's pure chaos. And from an indigenous perspective, it's the white man's chaos is what it is. The ideology of war and the ideology of power and greed and some kind of agenda for world domination, or let's say some kind of an agenda for bringing the end of the world so that the Messiah will come down and save everybody's ass and protect God's chosen people, the Jews. Man, that would be the last people in the world God would choose. Let me tell you that right now. Oh, and then the Gaza thing is still going on. The genocide, killing hundreds of thousands of innocent people in Gaza, that's still going on. That hasn't stopped. And you know what's funny in all this stuff, while all this stuff is going on? Oh, we're going to have talks. I don't care if it's Iran or Ukraine or whatever. It's like, oh, we're going to have talks. We're having talks. It may not happen. It may not happen. But if they don't agree, we'll come in full force. And you got lunatics like Lindsey Graham and this joke on Fox News. I guess he's on General Keane and talking, spewing lie after lie after lie about what's going on and who's winning and we could do this. And it's pure insanity. It's world insanity. It's chaos. It's chaos. It's a tape loop going over and over and over again and never coming to a culmination. All these geopolitical channels are like Danny Haifong and others. I don't want to just single him out. Danny Davis and bunch of Napolitano, and they're constantly talking about and having people on about this is existential, that could be the end of the world. If we have World War III, we'll wake up tomorrow in a nuclear winter. and then jump over to the people in the space weather. Oh, it's happening right now. Anything could happen right now. It's all fear porn. It's all fear porn. Hell yes, something could happen right now. Hell yes, the end of the world could happen tomorrow. Hell yes, you could die tomorrow. Hell yes, Yellowstone could explode and end everything tomorrow. Or the sun could put out an X-class flare and burn up the whole grid like it did in the Carrington event back in, what was it, 1867 or something? So if you're just your normal everyday working American whatever family, of course they're not going to be tuned in to all the stuff that's going on. In fact, pretty much since the COVID shot or the COVID and the shot, I think that just dissolved half, a third of the population's mind, did something to them. I don't know what happened. I mean, they were dumb before, but now they're really stupid. They can't even remember. You ask friends or you ask somebody, hey, did you hear about El Paso being shut down? Or, hey, did you hear about ICE killing 2 white people? And they're like, what? Huh? No, I didn't hear about that. I got to get up on that. So that's what I mean here, people. If you don't know what's going on, why would you take any action to try to alleviate it somehow, let's say, like a revolution, like an armed revolution, a civil war? And that's another thing, too. This whole thing with the ICE thing is basically pitting the political system against itself. What's that saying? A house divided will fall. Well, the house is the political system, and it's divided, all right? So it will fall. There's no doubt about it. It will fall. But do they want civil war? Do these hateful fucks want civil war? And why are they attacking indigenous people with ICE? And why? See, a lot of this stuff surrounds the indigenous man, the tribal man, the dark man, the brown-skinned man. A lot of this surrounds that. Who are they killing in Palestine? The tribal, dark-skinned people. Who are they killing? Who are they chasing all over the United States with armed thugs with masks on and guns drawn, ready to just shoot anybody and rip out of their cars? Well, supposedly it's the dark man again, who's half Indian, by the way. I'm thinking about doing a video. It's getting so bad right now, people. I did think it was going to get this bad, but that's the hard thing about being a prophet and a seer and somebody who sees into the future and somebody that is able to access alternate realities like myself. You see this stuff coming and or you get downloads, or you get messages from the Star Nation, or your spirit guides are like right next to you talking into your ear. And you see this stuff, and you don't want to see it. You really don't. And you see a lot of things that just the normal everyday Joe on the street doesn't see, or even your friends don't see. Because when you're a shaman, a practicing shaman, and a practicing yogi, and a psychic, and you're able to see other dimensional shifts and perspectives and frequencies and feel different frequencies, it's hard on you. Well, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to go out and warn your fellow man, like I'm doing right now. You want to call their attention, okay? You want to pull their heads out of their asses, all right? And say, look what's going on around you here. Get out of your everyday, self-centered, oh, it's all about just me or my family or my relationship or my job or uh, it all it's me. I got to worry about me, 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 me. Not mankind, not humankind, not the anthropos, not the connectedness with the oneness with all of our relatives, all right, all my relations. I may have to do a video on war strategy. It's getting to that point. I mean, if people are going to get attacked and taken out of their homes and kidnapped out of their cars, and it's like, well, Second Amendment or not, it's time to arm up. It's time to use some strategy, a little bit of strategy here against those who are strategizing against you. Because natural law says you shall not harm another individual. And if you try to harm another individual or their family, you can use lethal force. It's just a look at nature. Go on YouTube and look at a couple of nature films about how animals fight and how animals protect their own, and what happens if, let's say, a hyena comes in and tries to take a lion cub. Guess what? The mother's there ripping the shit out of the wolverine, and they're fighting each other. Or what about a cat in a barn with its litter, and in comes a raccoon to try to take one of the litter. And I've seen these videos. They're ferocious. They don't show any quarter. There's no mercy here. Or I saw one with a cat fighting a cobra, for God's sake, and taking it out. So the law of nature says that if you're out to harm somebody, you're going to get taken out. So I might do a video here real soon. I'm debating it, because basically I'm a nonviolent person. I'm a peaceful person, but I am a warrior. I am a warrior. Always have been, always will be, in the spirit of Crazy Horse. You just can't let people fuck you over, take your rights away, invade in your privacy. No, that ain't happening, people. And it's time you stood up for yourselves and quit acting like a bunch of fucking wimps. And in order to do that, there's certain things you gotta know. From a strategic level, from a warrior level, from a weaponry level, from, let's say, what you can get away with as far as legal firearms or whatever. But you don't really need firearms. Even hell, you could go down to Big Five Sporting Goods and get a crossbow, all right, with a trigger on it and everything, just like a gun, a high-powered crossbow, and boom. So this is some of the stuff I might go into. I might go into some guerrilla warfare tactics, a la Apache, a la Dogmen, Cheyenne Dogmen. Strategic thinking is what is needed. And I'm watching these people on the Red Nation and the Lakota channels and different channels that supposedly represent the red man, which sometimes I wonder. I probably do more than anybody right now. Because all they're talking about is how scared they are. And what are they going to do next? And, we have to get together here. Although the Black Panthers seem to got it together because they're walking the streets armed legally. And cops are leaving when they see them. So I might have to do a video on strategy and warfare and the art of war, like Sun Tzu's Art of War, martial arts, and tactics for protecting yourself, and forming networks of like-minded individuals to back each other up, and because that's the point that it's gotten to. And you can expect that if things keep going on like this, you could see where it's going to go. You could see where it's going. But they like to like to prolong the agony. See, this is what they like to do with everything, like with geopolitics, with the news feed, the shootings and the kidnappings and the constant being on your edge. Oh, what are we going to do now? What's financial stuff and everything. Nations do collapse, people. And here's another thing. See, if I stay on here long enough, I'll cover everything. Now you got China selling the treasury bonds, which, if you know anything about finances, treasury bonds are basically our debt. I mean, they basically buy our debt, I guess. And guess what happens if they sell all the treasury bonds, or they relinquish all the treasury bonds, or whatever? America could collapse. The dollar could collapse overnight. And the dollar is on the verge of collapsing overnight. It's really bad, people. You can't even pay the interest on the debt. Americans can't. They can't even pay the interest on, what is it, $32 trillion in debt, people? And the food prices keep going up and up and up, and the gas prices and the cost of living. Here they are spending billions and billions and billions. We're talking 100 billions on war. Look at the infrastructure of the United States, for God's sake. It's falling apart. So all of this stuff that's going on right now, and Trump with this fucking loudmouth blah 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 and saying weird shit, and I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm apolitical. I don't believe in politics. Anybody who follows this channel knows that. And the phrasing he uses, this big beautiful bill, and what else? The big beautiful armada that's going to. He keeps saying is this guy on drugs? And if so, what kind are they on? Because I might want to try them. Delusional. Completely. The big, beautiful. It's kind of weird, people. When everything is big and beautiful. Oh man, I don't even want to go there. Anyway. So you see what I'm saying here. It's worldwide chaos, worldwide insanity. Worldwide insanity. And let me go back a minute to that UFO thing, because I'm thinking about that too. That incursion, that was a UFO thing. Okay. And what's going on with that? I mean, why is it that every time we get supposedly on the verge of like nuclear annihilation, or everybody's getting hyped up and everything's an existential threat, and Israel could shoot off their nukes towards Iran and all this, why is it there seems to be a plethora or a swarm of these UFOs that come down over military bases and shut them down. You got to ask yourself that, don't you? And this has happened several times, people, in Denmark and UK and different parts of the United States, Fort Bliss, other munitions places, facilities that make munitions and nukes and stuff like this. Here comes the drones. And they call them drones, but they're not drones. They're not drones, all right? They're appearances of different orbs or lights or consciousness or consciousness manifestation of dimensional, whatever you think it is, they're coming in. And this is fact, people. All you got to do is look it up on the internet. But they don't talk about this stuff, see? This stuff, this El Paso thing was like huge for a day. It was like, or 2 days. And then all of a sudden, beep, all gone. It's all solved. It was cartel drones. And they'll put their explanation on it, which is just ridiculous. You'd have to be an absurd lunatic, non-lucid thinker to even believe it. Believe what they say. Because it's continuous lying over and over and over and over again. And tomorrow will be a new thing. I'll tell you what, though, this Nancy Guthrie thing really sticks in my craw. Again, thousands of Indigenous women, thousands of people, human trafficking and all this stuff, people disappearing every day, and we're focusing in, on this one person, and the pleas and the tears, and give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Mankind is at the verge of extinction, maybe, and you're focusing in on one. For what reason? Why would we care? Now, I'm sure their family cares. Fine. Let the family care. But we don't need to. Got enough things to care about. So I'm thinking, basically what I'm thinking is, what happens when your house gets cluttered? And I know that because I just cleaned up my house. I had this insane desire to go around and clean every nook and cranny of my house and throw out every freaking thing I didn't need, which felt really good. So I did that. But what happens when you get a house that's cluttered? All right. What happens when you get a house that's cluttered and you're sitting there and looking at all this clutter, and it's almost like a chaotic event? What happens? You go out and you clean the hell out of it, and what happens? Your mind clears up. Your mind gets more focused. Your mind starts getting in order again. So look at the world as a house that's cluttered. It's cluttered. It can't get any more cluttered and chaotic. And you're living in this house. So what is it doing to you, people? Your mind is cluttered. It's disorganized. It's not centered. It's off balance. It's stressed out. It's fearful sometimes. It's fearful all the time. I'll go out on a limb and say your mind is fearful all the time. You think about bills. You think about how you're going to pay your rent. You think about their food. You think about this. You think about that. And in the meantime, you're struggling out there at the job trying to cope with the lying motherfuckers that are your employers that are ripping you off to the point of abject slavery. It's Insane. So anyway, my advice is on several levels. I'll just end this video now because I think I've ranted enough. Get your house in order within. Get your house with order, your own house that you have surrounding you, your house, your bodily temple, your mind, your spirit, your soul. Get those things in order, people. Get them in order, okay? And what you have to do then is you have to create your own world. Create your own world of non-clutter, okay? That world is insane. Create your own. The world that the delusionary, psychotic, sick world that's around you right now, you really have to form that Merkaba bubble, that protective egg, that the screen against negativity, so that when it comes in, you can transmute it to positivity and love. That's all you can do right now. And trust in the Great Spirit. Trust in grandfather, grandmother, Shiva Shakti, whatever. To make things get to a point, or let's say, just trust the universe. See, because if I sit here and try to figure out what point, or, what point do I want here? Well, if there was a point that I would want, it would be people taking back their power and people being peaceful and no war, no malicious intent, no conniving, no backbiting, no backstabbing, no trying to control other people's realities, just a peaceful world where everybody can breathe again, a next to nature world, something that is peaceful, something that is truthful. And I'm not a Bible thumper. Anybody that watches this channel knows that I cut Christians to ribbons, so-called, and Zionists and people like that. But there are certain things that I've heard, and there are like some good maybe some good excerpts from different parts of the scripture, like Satan is the father of the lie. Satan is the father of the lie. Well, first of all, if you look back and you research the falsity of organized religion and all that stuff, you realize that Satan is Satan. It just means adversary. That's all it means. Devil is something else. That was something created by the Catholic Church. But in hell. But Satan is the adversary. And it says the adversary is the father of the lie. Well, is it? Is that what it... if we're in America and the media's lying and the government's lying and they never give you a straight story and they're always leading you on, there's Satan, you people that are Christians out there. And you don't even know that. You don't even know that. All the congressmen, all the senators, Trump, everybody is, I suppose, Christian, quote unquote. They claim to be evangelicals and all this stuff. So if the government is continually lying and the congressmen and what conclusion do you have to come to? They're Satan. They're the adversary. They're not for the people. They're not for the people. They're not for the welfare, the goodness of humanity. They're exhibiting the adversarial, lying, manipulating energy. So I guess you could say then that we're surrounded by demons. Okay, we're surrounded by evil demons. You could say that if you were a Christian. And I hope you believe that, because you need to get the shit scared out of you and go, what happened? I got taken over here. I'm possessed by an ideology. I'm possessed by an ideology. I'm possessed by a group of globalists. I'm possessed by oligarchs, and they're all demons. And they are. Because evil does exist. All right? It's part of the yin-yang chaotic nature of life. Dark and light. You can't have light without dark. You can't have dark without light. But it's not evil in the sense of Christian evil. All right? That's age-old scare tactics, you know, that I'm just going to use on you to wake you up. So anyway, that's my rant for today. I do other things on this channel, by the way, that are cool too. Indigenous history, Western history, the indigenous ways, the yoga, surfing, consciousness raising, shamanism, all of that good stuff. So tune in sometime, you know. Give it a like, I guess. You know, you got to say that nowadays. Although I don't even believe in algorithms. If they don't want you on here, you're saying something they don't want you to say. Good luck, you know. I am on BitChute, though, and I get a lot more play on there. I'm telling you right now. They got my number on YouTube. They got me pegged way back from the COVID and Jade Helm days. And I've been saying shit that they don't want people to hear for years. But I managed to stay in bounds. Okay. So they can't really take me down, or they could, I guess, but I wouldn't give a fuck. And I guess they know that too. But if you want to get the real nitty gritty, if you want to get the real truth, if you want to get the real takes on what's going on in the world, or let's say maybe just a general wake-up call, come back. You're welcome. I'm here from time to time, although I don't make videos as much as I used to. Because I think about a video like this and I'm like, am I just contributing to the negativity and the fear and the... but no, I do have a purpose to warn, right? I do have a purpose to share wisdom and warn, and kind of like a voice in the wilderness type thing. So take it for what it's worth, and I guess I'll just leave it there. This is Roger Thunder saying Wopila Aho and adios until next time.